Hello and welcome to today's session on what type of marketing is right for you and your business, and also on how to build a marketing funnel. So before we go any further, what we really need to understand is exactly what is marketing, because you've entered into this apprenticeship and you're interested in marketing, you have a knowledge of it, you may have some ideas about what it is, but it's important for us to define exactly what marketing is. And marketing is what you say when you want to explain how awesome your product is and why people should buy it. It's promoting and selling services. It's the management of a process for identifying and satisfying customer requirements. And it's also communications and exchange of data and money in return for products and services. And that's all sort of a big lot of fancy words, and some of it's right and some of it's wrong, and some people may agree and some people may not. But there really there are two schools of marketing, okay? There is branding and there is direct response marketing, okay? And branding is all about creating an image for a product or a business, okay? And if you ever go, let's say you're driving down the motorway and you see a big billboard with a big McDonald's logo, okay? That's it, just a McDonald's logo, nothing else. Or let's say it's just a poster on the side of a bus with a Nike tick and nothing else. Or maybe you're travelling home and then you spot a bus stop, or you're waiting for the bus, and sometimes they have the advertising that forms part of the bus stop, and it's just the big Apple logo. And you just didn't see these logos, and what they are is they are promoting the brand and getting the image of the brand out there and in people's faces. However, we're small businesses. And we don't do this, okay? Reason is budget, all right? What we do is we do something called direct response marketing, and a lot of people who aren't in sales will understand the term direct response marketing as being sales. It's not sales, it's marketing, all right? But it's marketing that's designed to get a response, all right? So, or an action. For example, opting into a list, turning up at a shop, making a phone call, alright? It's marketing that where we ask people to do these things and then we can measure what the response has been. So if it was a McDonald's sign and it said, turn right at next junction, come and see us and use code 150 for a 25% discount, we would know that anyone using code 150 had seen that billboard and had therefore come in to visit the shop. That's direct response marketing. The beauty of direct response marketing is you can know exactly what you're spending and what you're getting back from your marketing efforts, all right? With branding, it's all a little bit airy-fairy, all right? Well, so many people know about us, and, we're not interested in that. We're working for small businesses, normally owned by very successful entrepreneurs. However, they're not quite at the level of Nike or Apple or Coca-Cola. And the marketing activities that we do, they need to be justified by, well, at the end of the day, they need to bring an income into the business, okay? And that's what direct responsing is, and that's what it's all about. And there's a few more than this, but the 19 main pillars that we'll use for direct response marketing are a website, which I think we all know what a website is. It's our normal company website. Squeeze pages and lead magnets. So a squeeze page is a specific page on the website where we send someone to and then ask them for their detail, which is a lead magnet. Lead magnet and opt-in are the same thing if you've studied some of the early modules. So a squeeze page is a page on a website where it's not the home page. If we're doing an advert, doesn't matter where the advert is, but we're going to take people straight to that page. It's the page where they land. That's the squeeze page, or the landing page as some people might call it. And on that page, we ask them for some details. So we ask them for their email and their first name, and in return, we give them a free report. Okay, that's the process with a squeeze page or landing page, with a lead magnet or an opt-in, depending on the terminology that you're familiar with. Facebook advertising. So you've all probably seen on Facebook nowadays, you have sponsored stories on there. They're Facebook adverts. So essentially what that means is somebody or a company are paying to put that story or that advert in front of your face. Emails. We have Google AdWords. Google AdWords is quite similar to Facebook ads, but you all might have seen, if you go onto Google and you Google a particular subject or a particular service that you're looking for, at the top of the page, you'll have 3 sponsored adverts on there, and they always come at the top. Then after that, they'll come down the right hand side of the page. And again, what that means is people are paying to put their adverts there. The stuff that comes up on Google at the top, the organic search, what that is that's a website with very good SEO. And very good SEO is often owned by the bigger companies, or the companies that are investing a large amount of budget in an SEO expert to do that for them. Majority of the time, we're going to be working with smaller companies, with entrepreneurs, as we said, and we won't have that type of resource. So AdWords is very good for us to be able to get up to the top of Google. Remarketing. So remarketing is when somebody visits our website, in particular, and we then follow them around the internet with different adverts. You might have seen sometimes if you go on to, I think quite popular now is All Saints, the clothing brand. If you go onto All Saints, you look at a particular garment on there, and you then go to a different website that has space available, you'll see adverts for that garment appearing. That's remarketing, and that's something that's done through either you do it through Google, or you can also do Facebook advertising, but Facebook advertising will only appear on Facebook. Networking, going out, networking, meeting new people, swapping of number 8, which is business cards, okay? Telesales, so we may use telesales in the business. Is telesales a marketing pillar? It can be. If you're phoning up someone for the first time and they have no idea about who you are or what you do, you need to have a certain amount of marketing in that call before it becomes a sales call. So yes, therefore, it could be classed as a marketing pillar. Newsletters, used to build affinity and build relationships and trust with our audience. They are definitely a marketing pillar. SMS or text messages, we use that quite a lot to send quick, sharp communication that we know is going to be read by the recipient. Referrals is when we ask other people to refer into our business. So it could be a case that we are asking people who are already our customers to make referrals. It could be the case where we're asking another business who has our customers to make referrals. For example, if I am a personal trainer and there's a local beauty salon, we're not in competition with each other. We may be looking for the same people as our clients or customers, so we might do a referral offer where everyone who comes to me for personal training, I will then refer to the beauty salon as part of my deal, and everyone who comes to the beauty salon, they will refer back to me. Events and exhibitions, so there might be particular events or exhibitions that are relevant for your industry. So if you sell bikes, I guess you'll be off to the bike show at the NEC. If you are a franchise, you'll probably be at the franchise show. So particular events and exhibitions where people are interested in your product or service will be. You can speak to them, you can show them what they've got to do to become part of your program, and that's how events and exhibitions work. Video is very important because you can say so much of a video, and video really is becoming more so now than ever a must-have, in particular for your website. But it doesn't only have to be on your website. You can use you can use a video on its own on YouTube. It doesn't have to be on your website. PR, which we will cover off a little bit as well in the later modules. getting the press involved and getting them promoting our business and telling people what we do. Press ads, so that's things in like newspapers, magazines that are being read by our target market. Remember our market media message? So press ads there. Direct mail. Direct mail is a piece of mail that is sent directly to someone. So it will go through their door. You know, it may be in a bright yellow envelope. It may be some lumpy packaging to get it opened and get it noticed. But that's what direct mail is, and that's another marketing pillar that we use. Flyers. I think we all know what flyers are. There's a lot of bad flyers going around, but if you can create a good one and get it in the right place, it can be an excellent pillar for you to use. And finally, we've got a sales letter. Sales letter can be sent as direct mail. It may be displayed upon your website. It may be sent through an email, a sales letter in an email format, but essentially it's a long letter that identifies exactly what you do as a business and trying to sell a particular product or service. So 19 pillars, should be using at least 12 of them in your business to make sure that if anything goes wrong, if there are any problems, if some of the pillars start to fall down and not function as you would like them to, you've got plenty of backup and plenty of new leads coming into the business. So let's look at marketing funnels, all right? And I'm going to quickly jump to a quick video that I recorded a little bit earlier so that you can have a look at exactly what a funnel is, and then we'll come back. Okay, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the video. What we should have seen there is traffic plus conversion equals success. And there are lots of funnels, and in particular the ones we just mentioned on the board there. Slightly different example here. Okay, so choose a traffic source. If you're going to have a funnel, all right, imagine it, you have to have traffic and leads coming in the top. And you need to decide as a marketeer, where are you going to get that traffic from? Facebook adverts, Twitter adverts, LinkedIn, YouTube, emails, SEO, blogs, social media, AdWords. Any of these things can be used to generate traffic, all right? And nowadays, in marketing, you can always get traffic, okay? You need a budget to do it, don't get me wrong. But if you want traffic, you can pay for traffic. You can go on AdWords and you can get traffic coming through to your website today within a couple of hours, okay? However, you need to have the funnel underneath, all right? If you've not got the funnel underneath, there's no point putting any traffic in at the top, all right? The main thing, okay, the main way that small entrepreneurial type businesses are making their funnels nowadays and building successful funnels is by getting the traffic in the top, sending it through to a squeeze page, and offering a lead magnet, okay? As we said earlier, squeeze page is a dedicated page that all you're doing on that page is offering the opt-in or the lead magnet, all right? The lead magnet needs to be good. If the lead magnet isn't good and it doesn't interest the customer, the whole of your funnel is going to break down. You're getting traffic in the top, you're sending them to a squeeze page, and they don't want what you've got to offer. You've then paid for the traffic for no reason, okay? You're not going to do anything with that traffic, okay? It's a little bit like a dog. You find the right one for you, keep it, feed it, water, look after it, provide it with love, and it will then look after you as well, okay? You feed it data and it gives you back customers. Easy as that. Here's a slightly different funnel that you might want to look at. Again, lead source at the top. From there, we're going straight into a conversion campaign, okay? So what that means is that we're getting the opt-in, and then how are we going to convert the customer, all right? We've got the traffic at the top. We've got traffic coming in. Don't worry about that, all right? Any of these sources can provide us with traffic, all right? However, think about how you're going to convert them. Once they opt in, so once they get, for example, your free report on your website, on your squeeze page more specifically, how are you going to convert that customer? Is it going to be through email? Is it going to be through direct mail? Is it going to be through video? Is it going to be through phone call? Okay, what is going to work best for your customer? And the only way to find that out is by testing, all right? Of course, all of the different mediums, all of the different pillars that we spoke about at the top of this presentation have got pros and of course they've got cons. Emails are very, very cheap and very, very easy to send. However, direct mail is more likely to get noticed and more likely to get read. Video can say more and do more. So, is it the case that you use a combination of all these things, which is what I would recommend, and then at the bottom of the funnel, all right, once you started sending out your conversion campaign, what are you asking for? What are you asking for from the customer? Are you asking for them to book there and then, to become a customer, to make a payment? Are you asking them to book an appointment or a consultation? Are you asking them to schedule a phone call with you? Yeah? What's working for you? How much trust have you got built up with that person? Because if there's no trust there, they're not going to go straight in for a sale. Okay? Let's say, especially if it's an expensive product, okay, they're not just going to fill in a form for a free thing on your website and 2 emails later go and spend £20,000. All right? They need to be nurtured. They need to be spoken to. They might book a call. They might come in for a show around. They might come in for a discovery day, all right, where you can meet them again and build up more of a relationship and turn them into a customer. So let's have a look in a bit more detail in some of these traffic drivers, all right? Facebook. And we're not talking about organic traffic on Facebook, all right? We're not talking about just putting posts up on your page. We're talking about paying for advertising space on Facebook, which we'll cover exactly how you get an advert up there and what to put in a later presentation, because that is quite detailed. But just as a vehicle or a medium for generating traffic, all right, Facebook can be cheap, all right? It is significantly cheaper than Google AdWords. However, it is getting more expensive, okay? We started advertising on Facebook maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I could get clicks for 10, 12p, all right? Now they're up. They're up at 70, 80p, and they will continue going up. If you want to get involved in Facebook, now's the time to do it. Don't delay. Get on there. If your audience are on Facebook, the people who you're targeting, your market, then you need to be on Facebook too. All right? Let's say you're after particularly anywhere really from young people right up until 50s, 60s. A lot of these guys are still on Facebook, and you can choose them, all right? When you see the Facebook, how to advertise on Facebook, when you see that presentation, you'll be amazed by exactly how much detail you can go into to target your customers. So, here's the funnel for Facebook, all right? We target the right people, so we select the right people to see our advert on Facebook. We create the right ad, so it has to be something that resonates with them and makes them want to click on the advert. We offer them the right lead bait or the right opt-in, something they're interested in, okay, something they're going to go for. Capture the imagination, so we warm them up, we nurture them. It could be email, could be lumpy mail, could be video, alright? We contact them, and then we make the offer of a sale. And as you can see, alright, I know we're talking about funnels, so it's quite obvious. This is a funnel, alright? There's lots going in the top, and only a smaller amount coming in the bottom. That's always going to be the case. You're never going to get it, then you put 100 in the bottom, 100 in the top, and 100 in the bottom, you know? If you keep working on that conversion rate, keep bringing the funnel up, more conversions, slightly, little percentage at a time, you'll begin to build a more effective funnel, okay? But back to Facebook, okay? So how do we use Facebook as a traffic driver? We can use it to create awareness. We can use it to run competitions. Here's a couple of examples for you. On the left, this is a company, a florist, that sell flowers. And they've got with £500 worth of flowers. Okay, we've decided, we're giving away £500 worth of flowers. Someone clicks on this advert. They then go through to a squeeze page where they put in their details to win the flowers. Real simple, okay, can work very, very well, particularly with things that people like to have, such as flowers, nice clothes, chocolates, etc. Okay, the one on the right, who said there's no such thing as free lunch? Not us. Our competition is offering Sunday tapas lunch for 4 people. Alright, so you're into tapas, you like nice food, alright, this could be a competition for you. click on the ad, go through to their landing page, and you're in, okay? Straight into the funnel. Okay, why do businesses do this? Why do they want data? Okay, we want the data for this part here, all right, where we are capturing the information and contacting the customer, all right? And what we're doing there is we're warming them up. We're building a relationship with them. No relationship, no sale, okay? So we're building a relationship. What we might do, okay, we might take our funnel to the next level, all right? And what we might say is that we're going to make an offer here at the bottom for a smaller product, a cheaper product, okay? And once someone buys that cheaper product, they go into another funnel and we start warming them up and nurturing them again and getting them ready to purchase a bigger, more expensive product, okay? That's another way to do it, and that's something called a tripwire, which is a little bit more of an advanced marketing technique, but we'll come back to that in phase 2 of the training. That's what we're doing there, and that is Facebook, okay? So, to summarise, if your customers are on Facebook, get on Facebook, get an advert in front of them. Could be a competition, could be something they could win, could just be the case that you want to go old school and you want to advertise and you want to say we've got a fantastic opportunity, you know, save this, register here for this discount voucher, get them onto your page, all right, and get them clicking. Right, next one, Google AdWords. So, Google AdWords is similar to Facebook, all right, in terms of you pay to be in front of someone. You pay for space, advertising space on Google. The main things to be aware of, the difference between Facebook and Google is this, and it is key, all right? When somebody's on Facebook, they're browsing Facebook, they're talking to their friends, they're looking at things they find interesting. They are not really in the mindset to buy a new pair of football boots. However, if somebody comes on to Google AdWords or Google and types new football boots, Nike, they are looking to buy football boots. That's where they're at. They're looking for football boots, okay? Therefore, that's why Google costs more, because the people who are searching there are looking to buy. People who you get from Facebook might not necessarily be looking to buy. They might not be at that stage, at that point, at that moment in time. And it's faster than SEO, so AdWords will get you on the first page of Google easily and quickly. It's more engaging, you can control your costs, and it helps you to beat your competitors, alright? If your competitors are not on the first page of Google, and you have a significant advantage, alright? And this is what I was talking about at the top of the presentation. These top three, alright, where you can see with a box around them, they're paid for adverts, okay? These ones on the right, they're paid for adverts, okay? So people are paying to show their advert there, okay? This stuff down here, this is organic. This happens naturally, okay? This here, this bit there where my mouse is now, let me get the pen on so you can definitely see that. I'm just going to try and draw around here. This bit here, okay, this is Google Places, which we spoke about earlier, alright? So, get yourself on Google Places, and you'll be here. If you've got Google Places, in combination with an advert, a Google AdWords advert, you will be here. You will also be either at the top or on the right hand side, okay? Where you rank, so where you come, and how far up you come, depends on how much you're willing to pay. If you're willing to pay the most, so more than any of your competitors, you'll be at the top. If you're going to pay slightly less, you'll be further down the bottom. If you're going to pay even less, like, you know, much more less, you'll be on page 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Google, whatever it might be. But you can get up there, alright? What I wouldn't advocate at all is having not tested AdWords or tested your funnel, is getting expensive traffic from AdWords and putting it into a funnel that you're not sure works, alright? If you've got a funnel and you know it works and you've tested it maybe with some of your existing customers or maybe tested it for something cheaper like some traffic from Facebook, yes, that could be the time to start looking at PPC. But don't start throwing stuff in there until you know that the funnel works. Another traffic driver is this, alright? It's paid for advertising. So adverts in newspapers, adverts in magazines, and generally just printed adverts. Okay, printed adverts are expensive, but seen by the right people in the right places, they can work. This Kia stuff at the bottom, all right, this is not what I would class as direct marketing. Okay, this is brand building, like we said right at the top today. All right, this is brand building. It will get you in front of people. Okay, where's the call to action? Where's something telling me what to do, what I'm going to save? Why is Kia the best for me? All right, it's not there. Have a look at this Rogers one over on the right. Okay, get your free holiday gift from BlackBerry now. It's a bit better. It's got an opt-in. Free card with selected gifts. It's an offer. It's not telling me where to go or what to do, all right? But these are general, typical printed ad that you see. It gives credibility because they're often in very trusted websites or trusted newspapers or magazines, which is good. And of course, you can target if you're going out in Hunters Weekly, for example, which is a hunting magazine, and you're advertising something like shotguns, which hunters do tend to use. That's the place for you to be. If you're advertising, let's say, brand new Nike football boots in a Hunters Monthly, it's not going to work, is it? How many hunters are interested in football? Okay, get yourself in 442 or Champions League Weekly, you know, one of the recognised football magazines. That's where the print ad should be for football boots. Some companies say that they last longer, print adverts, because people keep newspapers or share it, or if it gets left at a dentist or something like that, it can last for longer. But, you know, come on, when you go to the dentist, you're really browsing the adverts from that newspaper from 4 weeks ago. It's an off chance, all right? It could work. I'm not saying it wouldn't, but it's an off chance. High retention rates. So when people read offline, they tend to stay attentive and give more time to an ad. That is true. If someone is reading something in paper form, they tend to read it more and study it more. However, there are some statistics that saying that's changed. You know, as the current generation get a bit older, there are more people using iPads and iPhones and smartwatches, etc. And therefore that rate could begin to drop. Whatever it comes down to, you've got to think about your market. Sometimes print could be the only way to go. You know, if your audience is not online, all right, then you've got to be going with print. Where else are you going to go? Especially if you're looking at the more elderly market, you know, how are you going to get in front of them? Which publications do they read, especially in your local area? Is that going to work for you, or are you better off going online? You know, how many 70-year-olds are on Facebook or regularly using Google? Not that many. Far more likely to respond to something dropping through the door or an advert that they see in a publication that they like. One final traffic driver. So again, same funnel, email marketing. So email marketing coming at the top, into a landing page, into a conversion campaign, all right? And it's not just about the data that comes to you through methods such as Facebook and through your website. There's other data you can get your hands on. And anyone got any ideas? I hope you have, but in case you haven't, you can buy data, all right? You can go out and you can approach companies and you can buy data collected over the last few years, all right? And, you know, you can segment it down to occupation if you want to. You can look at age group, you can look at residency type areas. It really is simple. Just put it in Google what you're looking to buy for, make a couple of phone calls, get some quotes, and you can get data. And then, you know, you start emailing out to that list and building a relationship with them and getting them to your squeeze page, giving them the opt-in and the lead magnet, and then looking to make a conversion. It is that simple. In principle, you know, emails have got to be good, got to be well thought out, got to have the right market media message. But if it is right, it's not rocket science, okay? And also, don't forget the people that you already have. It's not about getting cold traffic in all the time and new leads every single time, all right? If you've got business cards, old email addresses on your database, people that have purchased products from you in the past. You can be targeting them and getting them on board and getting them onto your pages. So, how do we start off a funnel with this data? It'd just be an effective email campaign driving them to a squeeze page, just as we said, the exact same as the other funnel. Just to recap, the aim of traffic drivers is so that we can put the data into a funnel, warm it up, and it becomes a lead. Alright? Once we've put the traffic in the top, we squeeze the data to find out where the interest is and who the warm prospects are. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again when we will talk about squeeze pages.